Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Lifted, Loved, and Covered mini masterclass. I'm so happy that you're joining us today. This will be, hopefully, prayerfully, a wonderful session, feeling confident in your prowess as a parent and your abilities as a parent, and more importantly, that you feel prepared to support your student in the best way possible as you go into this new academic school year. So, with all of that said, in regards to your students, congratulations, parents, and congratulations, students. I know they're not on here necessarily, but congratulations to all of you for arriving at this wonderful milestone. This is an exciting time, and I'm so happy to be a part of it with you in this way. So, we're going to get started. I'm Kim Anthony, and I am the facilitator of this masterclass. I am also a mom of two myself, two college students. But in addition to that, I am a CEO. And more importantly, in regards to this and what we'll be covering today, I am a former adjunct professor as well as an academic counselor. And I worked in that capacity for over 17 years. And it was a wonderful experience. And I walked away with so many takeaways and aha moments and experiences. And so I'm really, really happy to share my background with you in regards to what we'll be covering today and the wonderful things that I've learned throughout the years from my own experiences as a counselor, as a professor of psychology, student development, as well as a mom. So again, congratulations to all of you. If you see me looking in multiple places, that's because chats are coming in and I welcome those. I'm so, so happy that you're here. So please chime in where you're tuning in from. Also share, I'll be putting out questions to you and I would love to hear and see your responses. So I'll be looking at both places. So pardon me, I wish I had multiple sets of eyes, but I don't. This is going to be live. And so I'm looking forward to making sure that everyone is attended and meeting all of you where you are. So again, thanks for being here. We're going to jump right into this session because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you have plenty to do right now as you're preparing to get your student off to college, or you might be watching this after you've already got them to college, because this is not just pertaining to what you need or what you can utilize before sending them off. It's also pertaining to what you can provide ongoingly. Happy to have you here and looking forward to a wonderful session. Thanks again for being here. And please feel free to chime in if you have questions and so forth. May not be able to get to everything right away, but we'll also have an opportunity to talk offline. You're always welcome to reach out. All right, so we're going to get started. Welcome again. Thank you for joining. I know firsthand the mix of emotions that come with sending your student off to college. I know it from watching as an onlooker, as an instructor, as well as an academic counselor, but I also know it full on as a parent and sending my students, my own children off to college. From both perspectives, I can appreciate it. And I appreciate what you're doing. And I know that oftentimes you may not hear that appreciation as a parent. You may not necessarily always feel appreciated, but know that you are. Your role is pivotal. Your role in your student's life, your role in this world is so valuable. Let's talk about some of the key things to focus in on as you prepare to send your student off to college, but also during this school year, this academic school year, as well as thereafter. This will be something that you can always tap into and utilize. Please make sure to drop your name and where you're tuning in from. I think I've already shared that, but it's always good. I can see people chiming in, and it's always good to know where you're tuning in from. Okay, so I see some people are tuning in from Houston. Welcome, what is it? H-Town in the house. Welcome, welcome. Watching from Atlanta. My youngest is moving in next week. Congratulations. Congratulations. This is so exciting. I feel like I'm vicariously living through everyone. Every time I do this, this is my first mini masterclass like this, but every time I see a parent sending off a student or their children off to college, I just feel this exhilaration because it's just a really, really exciting time. I'm a solo mom in Chicago, feeling proud and a little anxious. No, understand that wholeheartedly. You're doing it, mom, and you're in the right place. We're all here. We're going to be starting a support circle too. So Stay tuned for that as well. If you're not already following on Instagram and on the other platforms, please stay tuned because we want to support each other. I said all that to say we want to support each other. So you're not doing it solo. You got support, moms and dads. We're so happy that you're here. Thank you for tuning in, Houston. We're with you. The first one is such a stretch of the heart. So this is your first one you're sending off. Yeah. If you have more to send off by the second, third one, you're gonna be like, yes. I don't know if you're gonna say you're an old pro because I don't like to use the word old, but you're gonna be seasoned. You're gonna be seasoned. Atlanta, the youngest, is a big one too. Yeah. And to our solo mom that I shared, your strength is showing up. You're showing up in a beautiful way, even today, right? Just the fact that you're taking the step to be here today and weigh in and hopefully take away some value that will help you with this process, right? This beautiful season. So the first thing I want to kind of talk about to stay on track is staying connected without holding too tight. So you might wonder, how do you stay connected without holding too tight? One of the questions I hear most often, and as an educator, as a counselor, how do I stay involved? A lot of parents would ask me, how do I stay involved without smothering my children? How do I do that? You want to be there, but you also want to give them space. So how do you do that? How do you find the happy medium? Because even when you feel like you're giving them space, sometimes they can say, no, you're pressuring me. I feel backed against the wall. I feel cornered. All of those things could come up, right? So I'm going to share some really helpful tips on how to possibly avoid that and alleviate that, proven tips. So find a rhythm. One of the first things I want to share with you that has proven to be helpful, the experts strongly encourage, and I've utilized it. I've encouraged parents to utilize it, and I've watched it work. Find a rhythm. So a rhythm would mean, like, while they're in school, you don't want to necessarily be calling every day. They don't want you calling every day, or every hour on the hour, right? They want to feel supported. They want to know that you're there, but they also are just getting accustomed to their life themselves. And so they need to be able to do that, and they're going to need space to do that, right? So one of the things you can agree or talk to them about is finding what times might be best for them. So, like, establishing a little bit of a routine. And I'll be honest, I have two children in college, and what works for one may not necessarily work for the other. And so I found myself having two completely different systems with both of them. And they're two different people, right? So there's no one size fits all to this. Like, what might work for my student may not work for yours. So you have to find and identify what rhythm actually works for your student, for your child. And that has to do a great deal with you're talking to your student, listening to them. Hey, what would be the most ideal way for us to stay connected? I want to make sure that I'm meeting you where you are. I really respect that you are embarking on this wonderful journey, and your mom or your dad I want to be there for you, but I don't want you to feel like this is a burden or that I'm a burden, that I'm trying to overwhelm you. I just want to be able to check in with you, to let you, just as a friendly reminder, you have my support, and then also to give you an opportunity to powwow and share the things that are going on in your life. Okay, so for my son, that meant allowing him to take the lead. And that may not work for everyone. So I'm not sharing it in a way like, do this is going to work. No, but that's what worked for us. It honestly happened more often than not because in his freshman year, there was a lot of information that needed to go between us, whether it meant for his classes, with his advisors, or whatever the case being. So it was fine. It was like, you're reaching out for information, great. And that's my little opportunity to say, how you doing? How things are going? My daughter is a little bit of a different story because she had already watched her brother. And so she felt a little bit more confident, to be honest. I thought I was gonna hear from her a lot more, but she kind of paced herself. And there was a little cadence, right? But nonetheless, I met them both where they were. I let them lead, and I would, encourage them, especially times that I didn't hear from them, maybe for a little bit longer than I wanted to, I'd say, "Hey, I didn't hear from you last week," or I haven't heard from you in a while, hopefully we can, work on that. What can we do to make that a little bit better? What can we do to enhance that communication? Because I really want to make sure that I'm always being available to you. So I did it in a way that didn't necessarily feel like I was reprimanding them or scolding them, because you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to do that. If you've done that before, you definitely don't want to do that in college. So even when I was working with students, that's the last thing they want to. They're like, "Oh, my mom is breathing down my back," or "My dad is breathing down my back." And students are going to say that regardless sometimes, even when you're not doing it. But you definitely don't want to like it to ring true. So find a cadence, check in with them, find out what's convenient for them. It doesn't have to necessarily be the same day each week, but if that works, if your student kind of prefers to have it scheduled, like Wednesdays, we're going to talk. Wednesdays at 5 after your class, that'll be our 15-minute window to chat. That might work for your student. That's one suggestion. I've heard that work for parents before. Some of even my students have told me, like, yeah, my mom calls every day or every Thursday at 5. I know I'm going to talk to my mom, and it's great. We have our conversation, we powwow, we check in. Okay. So you'll have to fill them out and talk to them about that. But I would strongly encourage you to identify that and kind of stick with that. Even if you feel tempted to talk outside of that time, maybe send them a message or do a little text. Students really are kind of receptive to texting. Do a voice text. "Hey, I just wanted to say, hey, I was thinking about you." Or, "Can you leave me a voice text and just let me know what's up with you?" That's when technology really can work in your favor. Right? So that's one tip. Another tip is, and I'll move a little expeditiously through these because I don't want to hover too much on different topics. But another tip would be lead with care, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just sharing. Lead with care, not control. So oftentimes we're caring, but it can come through as control. They can feel it as control. So when I say lead with care, express that you're doing it out of care. I called you the other night because they said there was some storms coming your way. It wasn't because I didn't think that you can manage it. I was just concerned and just wanted to just kind of give you a heads up and touch base with you, because I care about you. I've found so more often than not with my own children, with other parents, with their children and their students, is that when they express the care versus the dictator or the ordering or reprimand, and whatever the case being, when they've expressed the care, the response is so different. When we mirror what we want our students to be, and I'm saying the behavior, the how you want to when you want to scope the conversation, you want it to be calm. And sometimes you don't feel yourself getting, I ain't gonna lie, you don't feel yourself getting a little wrapped up, especially if they're like, "Hey, you don't tell me I'm tired of you, la la la." Some things they're gonna say are not necessarily coming from them, right? And you've experienced this, moms and dads. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Sometimes they may have other things going on in their life. It's not going to be much different than they was when they're in high school, middle school. You're young. You know them. You know them. And so I don't want to sound cliche, but a lot of things you just can't take personal, because this is a very impactful time in their lives. And so they're going to be dealing with different things, adjusting. And so oftentimes it can come through as a pushback when it's really just let me do what I need to do, which is very different. So then we need to lean into that instead of, "Hey, you need to do this. Don't forget I'm mama. Don't forget I'm daddy." No, they know who you are. They know your role. You can remind them without reminding them. But more importantly, letting them know I'm your parent without saying I'm your parent necessarily, but saying I care about you, leading with that. I love you. I want the best for you. Those 3 sentences, I promise you, those words are golden. I love you. I care about you. I want the best for you. Okay, so leading with care, not control. And then also, text like, things like, you can text them and you can say, "I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you." And it doesn't have to be that they've done anything specifically, like they took a exam and they got an A. No, "I'm just proud of you for what you're doing. how you're learning to navigate, how you're moving about through your day. That proud word. And if you want to take it even a step further, this one is my go to and has always been my go to since my kids were little. And I encourage parents often to utilize it, not just that you're proud of them, but letting them know you should be very proud of yourself. Golden. You should be proud of yourself for what you're doing. It's something about that ownership to themselves, that accountability to themselves that is a game changer, right? It's one thing to be for your parent to be proud of you. It's almost like goes without saying, but when they are proud of themselves, it is just like it's just to remind them like keep doing things that you make yourself proud. All right. So I'm going to ask the chat. I'm going to put it out there for the chat because I know this is some heavy duty information. What's one thing you're planning to do to stay connected with your student this fall? So I want you to think on that for a minute. And I'd love to see your responses to this. I have a lot of people showing up. Yes. Okay. So I see we're doing, okay. She said, we're doing Sunday FaceTime calls. You've already designated that? Oh my goodness. Y'all are on it. I love that. Your child is not, your student isn't even off to school yet, and you've already designated that. Beautiful. Spot on. Very consistent with what we were talking about. Yes. How were you able to? Okay. You guys talked about it ahead of time. That's all it took, right? Did she or he tell you that? I mean, kind of say that's what they wanted to do? Yes. Mm. So that means, especially when they come up with the idea or they commit to it, they're a little bit more inclined to do it, especially when they're vested in it. I love that. Okay, I'm sending care packages with handwritten notes each month. A mom or dad after my own heart. I'm sending care packages, the best. Those care packages make such a difference. Can we think back? Let's go way back to when we were in college. I know my parents sent me care packages and they sent me little clothes and my favorite snacks. Oh, it just warmed my soul. So imagine when you put all the things that they enjoy, but then also include in there some words of encouragement. And I'll have some goodies that I want to share with you that you might want to put in there too. But we'll share that. We'll share that before we get to the end. But yes, those things truly make a difference. Love all of those suggestions. Sunday FaceTimes, because they can easily become that sacred place, like a coveted place that you look forward to. Monthly notes. Yes, we talked about it. Daily prayers. Beautiful. This is something I want you to reflect on. Thank you, moms and dads, for chiming in. Love your responses and your shares. Thank you so much for that. What kind of emotional support do you want your child? I just want you to reflect on this and always just kind of keep it in your head or in your thoughts. Um, what kind of emotional support do you want your child to remember you for during this season? So before you act, before you talk, before you share, before you go into that mode, maybe this will be helpful just to say, hey, what do I want my child to remember about me during this season? Do you want them to remember you as hovering, controlling? Do you want them to remember you as kind and gracious? Just think about that before you actually act on things. It's not going to always happen. We're not perfect by any means. I can think back on things that I said or did that I could have done better. Hoping my children appreciated that. I'd come back like I shouldn't have said that. Or I could have said that a different way. Holding the accountability, I think, teaches them to hold accountability too, and also acknowledges that I'm not perfect, but I love you, and I'm learning as you're learning and growing as well, and that's what life is about. Okay, so thank you again for your shares. We're going to move along. We're going to move along, but don't feel like this is the end all because we're going to keep these dialogues going. We're also going to have another workshop that'll be available for your students. So if you have students that you want to participate in it, and we'll have coaching and all of that stuff. The next leg of this, we want to talk about what students won't always say, but still need. So these are the things that are going on behind the scenes that these are the things that are going on behind the scenes that you may not know about that aren't at the forefront. It's not what they're saying, sometimes it's what they're doing. And so you're not hovering, you're not trying to find out things that they're not saying to you, but you are making sure that you're staying connected with them. So let's talk about what that looks like. As someone, as I've shared with you, that has worked on campuses, I've had so many conversations with students, so many, and they've expressed sometimes that they're overwhelmed and they never told their parents. And I'll be honest with you, this is before I even had my kids, my children, that when I would hear that, it would kind of make me ache a little bit. And I just thought in the back of my head, like, I don't want to be one of those parents that my children didn't feel comfortable sharing things with me. I always want them to feel as if they can share with me, come to me about anything, about anything. And a part of saying that means that when they come to us with those things, that we're not judging, that we're not going into the mode or the stance of what, why, huh? We're listening, we're attending, we're receiving, because we want them to continue to do that. When I would hear the students share that with me, it hurt my heart because it was like, what if they don't have friends that they can confide in? What if they don't have other people, family members, teachers, counselors, whatever the case? I was glad they were coming to me as their academic counselor, as their counselor, but it did make me a little not nervous, but just I don't want to say sad, but kind of that they didn't feel necessarily that they could talk to their parents that love them and I know care about them, right? And so we want to make sure that we're always making ourselves available for that emotional support that they need and academic support, whatever the support they need, and really listening. So here are some tips and some insight that might help. Um, they may struggle with their identity, with burnout, imposter syndrome might show up, loneliness might show up, even with though they're surrounded by all these people, new people and stuff, but they may be, just trying to fill it out like, I don't know this person, I don't know about this, I don't know if they're receiving me. They just might have a lot of things going on in their head. They're quiet doesn't mean that they don't want you there. Okay, because they're processing. They might be processing, they might be thinking. And so you might take it unbeknownst or not, if you're not taking those things in consideration, you might say, wow, they're not responding. I called last week and they're not calling me back. What's going on? Why are they doing that? They don't want to be bothered. No, they just might be really, really adjusting. This is a major period of adjustment for a lot of students. So what you can do in that role, in your role as a parent, is offer strength, offer support without fixing things. Let's just sit with that one for a second. Offer support, offer advice, or offer tips without feeling like you have to fix it. I will tell you as a parent, as a counselor, as a teacher, that when I leaned into knowing that there are going to be times I offer support, offer advice, even to students in my role as an academic counselor, as a professor. Sometimes I'd have to watch them still make choices that I knew weren't necessarily, they may not be the best choices for them, but they were their choices. So whatever those choices are, they would have to live with them. But I would stay in my role of providing them with the insight, providing them with the tips, providing them, and then allowing that to land where it was going to land and being okay with that. Not feeling like I had to remedy it. Because you can see like something about to occur and you're just like, I want to fix it. Don't do that. If you don't take that exam, or if you wake up late, or if you don't go to bed at a certain time and you wake up late, you're going to miss your exam. Whatever the case being, sometimes it was going to require that they walk through that. My son, my daughter had a couple times here and there where they had to make those mistakes. And they called me, and I was so grateful that they felt comfortable and felt okay to call me and tell me and know that it was a safe place. And I didn't fuss and I didn't scold them. And honestly, I didn't even have a desire to fuss or scold them for many, many, many reasons. Partly because I've been on the other side of it, right? Partly because I was a student. And I know that's not what I would have wanted to hear if I made some faux pas or whatever during my schooling or education, whatever the case being. Listening, attending, and being supportive, it goes a long way. That's what I'll say. It goes a long way with students. Don't always feel like you have to fix it. So I have something for you in the chat. Are you ready for this in the chat? Okay. If your student hit a rough patch and actually opened up with you, remember I just kind of shared a couple examples from my experience. What's something you'd want them to hear from you? Okay. Okay. The responses are coming in. Okay. So the responses are coming in. That's so cool. Okay. You said you don't have to be perfect. We're proud of your effort. The effort is everything. Perfection is not even possible. So that effort is like, it's beautiful. And I love how you honed in on that. Let's just say that one again, okay? You don't have to be perfect. We're proud of your effort. Kudos to you. I love that. I love that. Next one. Okay. You're not alone. How often do we all need to be reminded of that? You're not alone. I may not physically be there with you. I may not know who's around you, but just know you are not alone. You're not alone. You're still your team. Oh, dun 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 dun. We're still your team. You may not have your whole network around you, your support team, your cheerleaders, because we've always been the cheerleaders, right? You may not have anyone in your corner that's telling you you're amazing, you're doing it, keep going, but your team is still in full effect. And those of us are faith based moms and dads, right? God is in control. Your team is always, God is always with you, walking with you. That's what I would tell my students, my children every day. Even when you feel like you're by yourself, when you're walking in that exam, when you're walking here and there, doing whatever you're doing, God is right there with you. And that also helps on the other side of it too, not to make them feel guilty or anything, but be mindful of your decisions and your choices. Jesus is walking with you. Love that. You're still your team. And last but not least, because I'm scrolling through this, I see these coming through. You're doing better than you think. How important is that? Because oftentimes we don't know that we are doing well. Our students will second guess themselves. Take a breath. You said take a breath and know you're doing better than you think. All of those are so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing those, parents, moms, and dads. Your child might not say it out loud, but those reminders, they stay tucked in their hearts. They really do for years to come. The things that my children tell me and share with me that I didn't even take note of, that they remember, is so amazing. And especially on those hard days, So kudos to you. We're moving right along. We're almost going to be wrapping it up very shortly, but we have about 10 more minutes or so. So you're doing great. Thank you for chiming in. And those of you who are watching the replay, please feel free to put comments because I will be reading those. I'll be reading those, chiming in. And again, we're going to be trying to work on a support circle for our parents, our college student parents, right? Okay, so stay tuned for that. And that devotion is coming. Wait, I can't wait to share these goodies with you. Okay, I'm getting besides myself. Okay, so we're talking about, and thank you. Keep those comments rolling in. Keep them coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wonderful feedback. Wonderful feedback. Thank you for that. Um, Supporting faith without forcing it. So we talked about this being a faith-based masterclass, and so we know that that's the common thread, right? That faith, we're leading with faith, right? But we don't want to force our faith on our children. We're trying to encourage them to develop their own faith and their own personal relationships with Christ because it is a personal thing. It's very personal. And we want that to be something that they develop and cultivate. Okay. So let's talk about some of the tips on how you can support that and help them cultivate. One of the ways is you can send a verse. You can send a weekly verse or a reflection with no expectations, with no other dialogue. An example would be sometimes I will send my students, my children, a verse. I might read a really amazing devotional, maybe something that really resonates with me. And so I screenshot it. And I actually have it right here. I didn't even bring it for that reason. I was going to try to take a little peek at it before, but here it is. And I buy a lot of my books from Half Price Books. This is not a sponsored video, but Half Price Books, yes, love them. And so this one's really small, and so I can literally just screenshot the thing, and they'll read it and they'll tell me like, "Mom, that was amazing. That love that one." And I won't even put it in the comments. I'll just be like, "I saw this," and I don't do it every day. It's only when I feel led, when God says, "Hey, this might be one that your daughter would appreciate, or your son," or I'll send it to both of them. So maybe you'll have some way of doing that. Again, praying to God for that direction, that insight, that discernment. Always praying. That's the common thread in all of this. Always praying to God for the direction. Lead me, Lord, direct me as to what will be best for my student, for my children. If you feel led and directed to send a weekly verse, again, with no commentary necessarily, unless you want to, unless you feel led to do that. No expectations, just love, right? Sending it in love. You can share devotionals like what I shared. You can also send them a devotional that they can read, which I'll be sharing with you very shortly. That might be a good option, a great option, or sharing resources, but not assignments, not saying, hey, read this, or I want to hear what you say about this. No, just putting it there and letting it land where it lands. They may read it that day, they may read it another day, whatever the case being, right? Let them see your faith without pushing it on them. Let them see you leading with that and living in that. Okay? Oftentimes we think that our them learning comes from us directing them and pertaining and applying it to their lives. Let it show through our lives. Mom is still learning. I'm still learning because you're growing and I'm watching along and learning along. And I'm always asking God to direct me because I want to be the best mom I can be for you. And I say it so heartfelt and I say it so compelling because I want them to know, like, I truly desire that. And by saying that, it's letting them know, like, okay, mom is admitting she's not perfect and she falls short. It's okay for me too. Not that I desire to, not that I aspire to, but it's okay. She's given me that to know that it's okay. And it's the second part of that is, or the first part of that is, even though I might feel like I'm falling short sometimes, I can always go to God because she's going to God. She's showing it with her actions. She's not just getting into a place where she's frustrated, life isn't going the way that she wants to. She's demonstrating by sharing with me her personal, being very transparent and organic with me, meaning my children, that I have to go to God. I have to go to my source to get that direction. And it works. Prayer works. Jesus never fails. Reminding them of that consistently, as you know, can be makes the difference. It makes the difference. Letting them see your faith without pushing it on them. That's the key. So I want to ask the chat, want to ask you in the chat, what's one subtle way you've shared your faith or your encouragement that seemed to connect with your student, with your children? What's one simple way that you've done that, that really, that you saw made the impact and made that connection? Okay, let's see. I see some comments coming in. I send a short verse on Mondays. My son actually looks for it now. Oh, wow. You started the pattern, you started the tradition, right? And now he's looking forward to it. How beautiful is that? I know that has to warm your heart, Dad. I know that has to warm your heart. It warmed my heart reading it. The fact I can visualize him looking for it. Like, where is it, Dad? This is something you've been doing. Where is it? Like, and I know you're probably sending it like right on, but just imagine, oh my gosh, that's so powerful. We share a worship playlist. Oh, I love that idea. We share a worship playlist on Spotify. It's low key but meaningful. I learned so much in these sessions. I know this is a mini masterclass, but when I do chats and all these different, I love when the comments come in because they are so eye-opening and so many gems shared. So the short verse consistently, and now son is looking forward to it. Now you're sharing, another mom is sharing, another parent sharing. I share a worship playlist. How beautiful is that? You can start a playlist together and put art put songs in there. Meet them where they are, what they enjoy. They like apps, they like internet, they like, so the music, and then you're joining together and putting things from both of you. Such a bond bonding moment, unbeknownst, like it's not your traditional way, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Another one, I pray before their big test and text them after. Simple and sweet, right? It's become a thing. Praying and then texting, praying and texting. Got you. I got your back. I appreciate what you're doing. I saw you. I see you. Whatever you say, I love that. Such thoughtful ways. Thank you, moms and dads, to support your children without overwhelming them. That's the key point. You're showing your love, you're showing your care, you're showing you're there, you're showing I'm your team without overwhelming them, without it being in their face, without scolding them, without saying, "Hey, I called you and you need to call me." Just being there without it being smothering, right? Love that. So this is a pause moment. I want to pause, and as we wrap things up, as we're winding things down, wherever you are, take 10 seconds, just 10 real short seconds, and speak your student's name. Whether you say it out loud, whether you say it in your heart, ask for peace. Ask for peace, clarity, and growth for them and for you. Because as they grow, we grow. So just ask God for that. And although we're doing it right now, that's something I would encourage you to do ongoingly. Those of us who have our center, our focus, mine happens to be my prayer life and my faith in God. So whatever yours is, especially those of you who are this resonates with, taking that minute to pray, especially when we're feeling some kind of way, whether it's nervous or worry or concern or angry, whatever it is, just taking that minute to call Jesus' name, call our students' name, and asking for that peace, asking for clarity, and asking for growth for them and you. You don't need permission to do that. It's always there. It's always available to you. Utilize that. So, as we wrap up our session, as we start wrapping and winding down, I want to thank you again for tuning into this masterclass and coming in. All of our parents with their comments and support and feedback. It has just been, I hope this has been a wonderful session for you. I'm looking for more to come. I am available to you. We're not done yet, but I just wanted to just pop that in really quick and just share how much I appreciate your being here and taking this time out on this Sunday to do this or be a part of this and join in. What I'd like to do is I don't want you to walk away from this empty-handed. I don't. I want you to walk away feeling good. I want you to feel more prepared. But in addition to that, I've created some resources that you can start using immediately. And they are free. They're complimentary from me to you. What they include are is a college clarity checklist. You're going to get a college clarity checklist. It's going to be a checklist that really goes through point by point things, not just what we've covered today, extended things that will be helpful in keeping that clarity with your student for yourself. Really helpful, powerful document and easy to utilize. You'll also get 5 faith fueled conversation starters just to keep that dialogue going in a positive and faith fueled way. So you'll have some really powerful conversation starters that they will prayerfully be of benefit and a blessing to you. You have 5 faith fueled conversation starters to initiate those wonderful, powerful conversations with your student. Then you also have a parent blessings and student encouragements. So you have that. There's a variety of them. Short, heartfelt words you can say and text and write in a note. Remember we talked about you all were sharing with me that you send text here, or you have a designated day that you have your prayer. All of those things, all of that is encompassed in there. And there's some great suggestions that you might find helpful and useful with your student. Here's an example of one. I'll read one out aloud. I believe you. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I bless you with peace in the unpredictable and the unknown. Because school can be very unpredictable. Life can be very unpredictable, right? So I bless you with peace, my son or my daughter. May you find calm when the days feel loud and courage when the path feels unclear. It's something I've always said to my students, to my children. I say it to my students too, by the way. So when I say students, I'm saying kind of synonymous to my children because I would share those kind of things with my students too. I prayed with my student, prayed over my students, not necessarily right there in class, but even in my private prayer life, I would pray for my students. And students as a whole, because I know how it is, know how what is involved with that. Um, and so I want to ask a question. This is one of the latter of our questions as we wind down our session to our chat. What resource are you most excited to use? We know with the ones that we shared, and in addition, and even additional ones that come to mind. What are you most excited to use? She said the blessings. The blessings! Yay! They're coming to you. You'll be getting that link. I'll be sharing that with you. I can't wait. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. The blessings. I want to use them during midterms. Great idea. Wonderful idea. Wonderful idea. See these gems that are circulating every which way? I love them. Thank you. Yes, that would be such a blessing during midterms. Great idea. Conversation starters. Someone said conversation starters. I never know what to ask that doesn't feel pushy. These are going to help you, Mom. These are going to help you. Yes, and they're going to help you not feel like you have to scramble to put it all together. You're going to have this little handy guide, this toolkit. I wish it had been around for me. That's why stay tuned, like stay connected with me and share and let me know how things are working out for you. Okay, I love it. Yay! I felt stuck on how to show up spiritually. Feel stuck no more. Feel stuck no more. Prayerfully, all of this will be a blessing and a benefit to you and your students. I am so grateful to be a part of it, to be able to support you with this. And it has truly, and I'm looking forward to more to come. This is not the end all, be all. So we're here and so happy to be here and never feel alone as you embark on this, okay? Exactly. That's what I wanted to tell you. These are meant to be, all of these are meant to be real, simple, and powerful. Someone said that they're real, simple, and powerful. They're meant to be that. And to hear you say that, they feel that way is like, thank you, Jesus. The other thing you'll also be getting is that you, all of you, those of you who are watching this and have attended this masterclass, mini masterclass, you will have first access to the Unshaken bundle, send off bundle. It's not just for sending off. We call it the send off bundle because it's great if you can get it before you actually send your student off, but this is something you can use for years to come. I'll be starting a devotion. I have a devotional series starting with this one that we will be launching. You'll have access to the 52-day student devotional. This is for your student. It's 52 days of powerful devotions that speak to where they are. This is coming. Have this devotion that you'll be gifting them that will help in those interim moments. Right? You'll also receive the scripture plus affirmation card set, private student coaching call if you'd like to utilize it, but it will be optional. If you want me to speak with your student about specific, not specific academic things because they need to be connecting with their advisor, but some general things that pertain to their academic experience and their goals and aspirations, and also an optional fall check-in support circle. We'll be starting that in fall. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, we will keep you in the loop with that. And I'll drop the download link. It will be provided in this description. I pray that it will be a blessing to you. I look forward to hearing your feedback about that. So with that said, we've reached the close of our mini masterclass. This has really been a blessed session. I can feel the blessings. You've been a blessing to me with your feedback, your comments, your tips. Wow, this has just been phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to keeping this dialogue going, continuing to support you, and also getting these resources at your disposal, as well as the devotional. And there'll be more devotionals not just for our college students. We have young people that are not going to school that still need that support, need that encouragement, need some direction. So it's gonna be covered from these devotionals are gonna be covering different facets of life, but they're the Unshaken collection. There'll be more to come with that, and I'm excited about it. So excited. So look forward, stay connected with me. If you're not already connecting on Instagram and some of the other areas, please look in the description. A lot of resources. I am the CEO of Single Mom Society. So single parents that need support and resources, we have a whole extensive resource hub for that. So stay connected with us. And again, thank you for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. We had so many people register, but we only had a limited space that we can accommodate on this platform. But thankfully, due to technology, there'll be a replay on this. So you'll just get the link and you can watch the replay. And hopefully you'll tap into the other resources that will be available in the description, as well as our empty nester guide that will also be there that I wrote last year, and that's still available. So tap into that as well. In closing, I'd like to offer this to you. May your child walk forward with purpose. May you walk in peace. And may this season bring all of us, growth, grace, and unexpected joy. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I pray that it's been a blessing to you, and I look forward to staying connected with you soon.